transformed our world. Cars have freed us, but they've also led to challenges in safety, congestion, pollution, and isolation. We have the opportunity to change our future. Through advanced sensing, interconnected data, and intelligence embedded in our cars and the environment, we can create a transportation system that knows who we are and where we need to go. One that's connected and cooperative, easing the burden of driving and making transportation safer and more efficient. 8:15 Tuesday morning. A parent, his child, and a classmate leave the house on their normal drive to school. They each have a unique data profile of their travel preferences, routine destinations, and upcoming trips. As they approach, the car securely links to this data. Inside, the car recognizes its occupants and the trip they're taking. Utilizing their data profiles, the car dynamically adapts to them, changing in-cabin settings, music and media, fuel efficiency, and driving performance. Anticipating their destination, school by 8:30, the car displays the different routes they normally take. It accesses real-time information about delays and helps them choose the safest and most efficient path. In the back seat, the children start a game. This game allows interaction with the outside environment as they pass by. Back at home, the child's mother checks her phone. Traffic is heavy on her normal commute to work, so the transportation system offers her an incentive if she takes a different route and leaves a few minutes later. When she enters her car, her mobile device seamlessly and securely connects with her vehicle, displaying her chosen route and relevant trip details. As she drives, her car senses and communicates with the environment around her. Connecting with an upcoming traffic signal, her car tells her that the light will shortly change to green, as no other vehicles are detected at the intersection. To enhance her driving, she's given an augmented view of the world around her. Dynamic driving zones, in this case a virtual bike lane and a school bus zone, make obstacles normally obscured suddenly visible, helping ease the flow of traffic. Knowledge of road conditions is shared in real time between vehicles, allowing drivers to avoid obstacles and hazards before they're encountered. In this case, an approaching car is alerted to the delay and an alternate route is suggested. This car merges onto the freeway, linking to the vehicles around it. They share their general destination and where they're exiting, forming an impromptu group that begins to drive together autonomously. As the car nears the driver's destination, it connects with local infrastructure to find available parking. Accessing data collected from sensors and other cars, a location is negotiated and reserved, taking into account cost, safety, and driver preferences. Over time, increased intelligence, sensing, and connectivity in our cars and the infrastructure around us will change our experience of travel. We'll work together, individuals, groups, cities, and governments, to travel more safely and efficiently. And our very idea of transportation will shift to one that is more sustainable, cooperative, and ultimately freeing.
You know, you look at something like this and you think it's really futuristic and does not apply to India. And certainly in India, we are going to have very different constraints that we're going to have to address and operate within. Let's start with local languages. You know, today, if you look at the devices that we have available, very, very few of the devices actually work with the languages, even 9 of the languages that are prominent in India. There is a vast amount of opportunity over here for us to address. But going even beyond languages, you know, if you look at the number of Indians who are expected to continue to be below the literacy level, we've got an opportunity over here to dramatically improve the way we interact with computing devices and make them a lot more natural so that they are able to use things like voice, face expressions, gestures, and you don't need to be literate in order to be able to use a device. In Intel over here in India, we recently, in CeBIT last year, launched a product that is actually has been taken to the market by BPL. It's a medical device, and this is what it looks like. It's as small as this. It's essentially what you would now refer to as a consumer IoT, a mobile health solution. And we did this almost as a prototype to help us understand the possibilities. It basically is used to measure parameters of health by holding it against the body at different spots. And then it uses the phone to transmit the data into the cloud, where it is essentially saved in a database. So a patient can do that, and then the data in the cloud can be accessed by the health provider, the doctor. And so such a device can be used in villages where perhaps a practitioner is not there, or even in cities where we can find out whether we actually need to go into a medical facility to get a checkup done based on the parameters. So today, this device measures ECG, it also measures body temperature, and it also acts as a pedometer. And going forward, there are other things that we have planned. In addition to the device, what we also worked on is creating a horizontal platform. And that platform essentially is going to serve as a platform that other vertical segments are going to be able to use. So the platform, on the one end, has the ability to use sensors. In the middle is a gateway. In this particular case, the phone is acting as the gateway, and at the end, it connects to the cloud. That's the horizontal platform. The first vertical that we have enabled, as I mentioned, is the mobile health vertical. Going forward, the second vertical that we are working on now is an automotive vertical, something that is going to be able to measure the health of the automobile. So this is an example of an IoT solution that we worked on here in Intel India. Inside of Intel, this particular solution is actually the very first mobile health solution that Intel has introduced to the market. Finally, let's talk about global competitiveness. You know, we've heard a lot all day about these three things. You know, whether it is ease of operation, it's investments and incentives, and it's the infrastructure. There is a lot of opportunity over here. A lot is underway, a lot remains to be done. But what I want to talk about is the fact that we need to look at this holistically, not just looking at manufacturing and startups of today, but also how can we bring into the fold all of R&D? Because the R&D of today is going to be the make in India of tomorrow. And so today, if you look at the incentives that are available inside India, they do not extend to R&D captive centers of MNCs like Intel. They should, because today, if you look at the R&D centers in India, almost all MNCs have large R&D centers in India. And if you look at what other countries have done, they have had the foresight to include that to not just focus on the problems of today, but to actually put powerful incentive packages out there. Countries like Ireland, Israel, Singapore, Malaysia, that is essentially drawing R&D to those countries. That in turn then feeds the manufacturing pipeline. That's what we need to focus on here in India as well. I started by saying that, I talk to you today not just as the president of Intel India, but also as a member of the IESA EC. It was the IESA that shone a spotlight on ESDM back in 2008. And today, as we look at the whole Make in India phenomenon, IESA stands in a unique position to be able to lead the country in this. There is a lot that we have done. There is a lot more that we can do. What I am talking about is coming up with specific goals, a timeline to meet those goals, and a blueprint that will take us there. No government can do it because a government is driven by elections. No company by itself can do it because companies are driven by profits. A forum like IESA is uniquely positioned to be able to take a strategic, longer-term view in mind. So that's what I had. Thank you.